Have you ever felt the pressure to keep up with societal standards, to constantly prove yourself even after turning 60? At that point, the need for respect and autonomy becomes more urgent than ever. Welcome to Elderly Wisdom Stories, where we explore the secrets to turning old age from a burden into a journey of enjoying every moment of freedom. In today's video, let's listen to John Harris as he shares what he has laid to rest after turning 60. And don't leave too soon, because I promise that the final secret, the one John holds on to as his golden key for a light spirit, will be revealed just before the video ends. Now, I'd like to ask you, is there a habit that once imprisoned you after turning 50 that you wish to let go of? Share it in the comments so we can all learn from each other and spread strength for the golden years journey. If you want to live proactively, peacefully, and full of energy, don't forget to click like and subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any helpful tips. Now, let's dive into what John Harris has removed from his life to transform his 60s into a bright new chapter. First, let's take a look back at the time before John turned 60. He was constantly worried about how others perceived him. From comments about his retirement decision to small imperfections in his smile, and this caused him to lose his inner balance. However, according to a study published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology, people often overestimate the attention others pay to them by as much as 30%, the spotlight effect. Realizing this helped John gradually shed unnecessary burdens. Next, John shares that after carefully reflecting on his life audit, he understood one key thing. Respecting others' opinions does not mean having to argue to prove oneself. He preferred to spend time nurturing his inner value rather than wasting energy trying to explain himself to those who liked to judge. This not only helped him maintain peace of mind, but also freed up energy for more meaningful goals. Moreover, not caring about the judgment of others allowed John to proactively choose a positive environment. Instead of getting caught up in useless debates on social media, he spent time walking, reading, and having conversations with friends who truly cared. I personally witnessed a colleague who, after applying the principle of respecting but not arguing, significantly improved his mental health and his relationships with coworkers. He became more confident and less affected by gossip. Finally, John recommends that you remind yourself, every time you feel the urge to argue about unconstructive comments, ask yourself, is it worth my time and energy? When you truly understand the value of inner peace, you will no longer fear the judgments or opinions of anyone. And that is the starting point for focusing on what truly matters, preparing for the next step on how to limit exposure to negative people, helping your soul grow stronger and your life become more fulfilling. Continuing from learning how not to let the judgment of others control your life, the next step in the 60-plus journey is minimizing exposure to negative people. First, you need to understand that toxic people, those who constantly criticize, lack respect, or drain your positive energy, don't just cause mental fatigue, they also negatively affect your health. According to a study published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology, frequent exposure to negative people can increase the risk of stress and cardiovascular problems by 30%. As a result, John Harris decided to minimize his relationships with those who brought negativity into his life. He had a colleague who, every time they met, made him feel pressured and drained. While he recognized their past contribution to his success during a stressful work period, John realized that the relationship no longer provided value and only disrupted his balance. Therefore, he took the initiative to maintain some distance, kept communication brief when work required it, and cut back on those long complaining coffee sessions. Moreover, John didn't adopt a cut-off completely approach, but skillfully maintained forgiveness when necessary. He shared a story about a close friend with whom he had a falling out due to a misunderstanding 2 decades ago. The relationship seemed irreparable, but thanks to forgiveness and taking the initiative to meet, they were able to rekindle their friendship. This shows that while you can set necessary boundaries to protect yourself, you don't have to completely shut the door on people who were once important to you. Additionally, you should choose to surround yourself with a positive environment. John Harris shared that instead of joining social media groups filled with intense arguments, he joined a camping club and a book club. It's places where people share passions and support one another. I have also ventured outside the safe zone of stressful work meetings and joined an art class for adults, where I unexpectedly met new, warm, and creative friends. To practice, you can follow these 4 steps. 1. Identify who the negative individuals are in your current relationships: co-workers who constantly criticize, friends who complain often, or family members who exert too much pressure. 2. Minimize interaction. Reduce the time spent chatting, only engage when necessary, and opt for safer communication channels like email instead of face-to-face meetings. 3. Focus on building relationships. Spend time with people who share your passions, inspire you, and respect you. 4. Forgive, but don't forget to protect yourself. If possible, address misunderstandings directly to resolve them. If not, don't feel bad for learning how to protect your inner peace. Finally, ask yourself, are you enduring too much negative energy from someone? If the answer is yes, begin reducing exposure and choosing relationships that help you grow stronger. Because only when you protect your mental space will you have the strength to continue enjoying the good things and maintain an active, happy journey in your 60s and beyond. Continuing after you've actively reduced exposure to negative energy, the next step is lowering your expectations to avoid disappointment. In the past, John Harris was a goal-setting machine, with strict standards not only for himself, but also for those around him. He expected his colleagues to perform excellently, his friends to always show interest, and even his family to understand every little detail. However, according to a study published in the Journal of Social and Personal Relationships, setting excessively high expectations for others increases the risk of feeling disillusioned and stressed in relationships by up to 45%. Realizing this, John decided to let things unfold more naturally. Instead of expecting too much, John adopted the principle of giving without demanding, understanding that everyone has their limits and circumstances. He shared, "When I had unrealistic expectations, the pressure was always on me. Stress increased, and what should have been friendly conversations turned into meaningless arguments. Now, John has learned to accept differences and trust others' efforts, which has allowed him to maintain a relaxed mindset and eliminate the underlying tension in his relationships." To practice this yourself, try these 3 simple steps. 1. Set realistic expectations. Before assigning tasks or planning a meeting with someone, ask yourself, is this expectation reasonable? For example, instead of expecting a colleague to respond to an email immediately, you could flexibly wait 24 to 48 hours. 2. Practice gratitude. Every day, spend 2 minutes noting at least 3 things others did well, no matter how small. A survey from the Positive Psychology Journal shows that this habit helps reduce stress and improves relationship satisfaction by up to 30%. 3. Set emotional boundaries. When you feel expectations are starting to get out of hand, pause and ask yourself, can I accept this without feeling hurt? If the answer is no, you can have a direct conversation or simply adjust your expectations. I've seen the effectiveness of this method in my long-time friendship with a friend who tends to be late. Instead of getting angry, I started accepting that she often arrives late and focused on the positive aspects, making the time we spent together more meaningful rather than racing against the clock. As a result, our relationship became stronger, with no more moments filled with pressure. Finally, remember, expectations are a double-edged sword. Set right, they can motivate you. But when too high, they can leave deep emotional wounds. Lowering expectations doesn't mean accepting disrespect. Rather, it creates space for openness, empathy, and love to grow. When you let go of unnecessary pressure, life becomes lighter and relationships become more meaningful and enduring over time. Continuing from learning how to lower expectations to maintain a relaxed mindset, the next step is to let go of complex goals and prioritize simplicity. Instead of spending hours mapping out 3 to 5 year goals with endless spreadsheets, deadlines, and long to-do lists, John Harris simply uses Google Calendar to jot down key tasks for the next 12 months. First, let's acknowledge the reality. A study from Harvard Business Review shows that individuals who maintain concise goal lists and focus on the 3 most important things each day tend to achieve 37% better results compared to those who use complicated planning systems. The reason lies in simplification, which reduces the clutter in the mind, making it easier to take action rather than feeling overwhelmed by too many choices. Next, John shares. When I was younger, I would map out a 5-year or 10-year vision, breaking it into 100 steps. But now, every time I open my calendar app, I only look at the 5 to 7 most important events that I've committed to in the year. This doesn't mean he has abandoned his aspirations, but instead, he has learned to prioritize, allowing him to flexibly adjust when circumstances change. Moreover, Zen psychology also encourages us to follow the one thing principle. Choose just one thing each day that will bring the greatest value and focus all our energy on it. I've applied this principle to writing. Instead of listing 10 topics every week, I now focus on one topic only, dedicating 90 minutes in the morning to perfect it. The result is a significant improvement in the quality of my writing rather than spreading myself thin. Additionally, John emphasizes flexibility. When using a digital calendar, I assign a color to each task, which helps me quickly understand the order of priority and easily drag and drop when I need to reschedule. According to a survey by the American Psychological Association, people who use visual management tools, like color-coded calendars, are 25% more likely to stay committed compared to using plain text lists. To start today, follow these 3 simple steps. 1. List the 5 most important goals for the next 12 months. Only choose those that, if accomplished, will make a significant difference. 2. Transfer them to Google Calendar. Set flexible deadlines using colors to differentiate between categories: health, family, hobbies. 3. Set a weekly reminder, just 10 minutes to review and adjust your calendar, helping you maintain motivation and avoid missing out. Finally, John concludes, simplicity and flexibility are the keys to ensuring you're not bound by plans, yet still achieving your goals. At 60 plus, what matters is not how many plans you have, but whether you're executing the things that truly matter. As you transition from complex plans to a simple system, you'll not only reduce pressure, but also free up creative energy to focus on life, family, and the valuable experiences ahead. Try it today and feel the difference. Continuing from learning how to simplify your goals and prioritize what truly matters, the final step, and the most essential one, is allowing yourself to relax. In the past, John Harris tried to make the most of every minute in his day, working from early morning until late at night. He set detailed schedules, pushing himself into a performance-driven framework, but in the process, he lost the simple joys and his inner balance. However, according to a study published in the Journal of Occupational Health Psychology, maintaining a high work intensity without proper breaks can lead to burnout, resulting in a 25% decrease in concentration and a 40% increase in the risk of cardiovascular disease. Realizing this, John learned from his friend, especially Andy, who has a laid-back lifestyle, that sometimes doing nothing is just as valuable. Moreover, sleep and recovery science has proven that short breaks during the day not only help restore energy, but also increase creativity by up to 20%. Therefore, even though he still maintained a routine, getting 7 to 8 hours of sleep each night and waking up at the same time every day, John began to accept days when he simply wasn't feeling inspired. He didn't feel guilty for occasionally sitting down with a book, meditating, or watching the sunrise without being productive. From a psychological perspective, allowing yourself to relax helps reduce cortisol, stress hormones more quickly, thus improving mood and boosting the immune system. A study from the American Psychological Association showed that individuals who take micro breaks during their workday have 15% lower cortisol levels than those who work continuously without rest. I had a similar experience, during the self-isolation period due to the pandemic, I decided to skip my packed work schedule and set aside 30 minutes each afternoon to meditate. After just a week, I found myself more focused on my work in the afternoon and no longer experiencing the same long-lasting stress as before. To help you implement this today, follow these 3 simple steps. 1. Set break time. Each day, dedicate at least 10 to 15 minutes to an activity unrelated to work, whether it's listening to music, painting, enjoying nature, or simply lying down to relax. 2. Set reminders. Set an alarm in the morning and afternoon to remind yourself to stand up, take a relaxing walk, or stretch. According to many experts, standing up for just 5 minutes every hour helps reduce fatigue and improve blood circulation. 3. Accept rest days. 1 or 2 days each week, feel free to skip any strict plans. No need to answer emails or schedule meetings. Prioritize doing what you truly want to do to recharge your inner energy. Finally, remember that the balance between activity and rest is the key to maintaining both physical and mental health, especially after turning 60. When you allow yourself to relax, you're granting yourself the freedom to enjoy life without being bound by the pressure of performance. Only then can you truly pursue meaningful values, nurture relationships with loved ones, and explore new experiences to the fullest. So, start today. Within the next 24 hours, try taking at least 15 minutes to relax and notice the difference. Leave a comment to share your experience. Since turning 60, John Harris has bravely eliminated energy-draining habits and relationships, lowered his expectations, simplified his goals, and allowed himself to relax. As a result, he has not only maintained a positive spirit, but also enjoyed a more comfortable, serene, and fulfilling life. We hope these experiences inspire you to freely choose what truly matters, letting go of unnecessary pressures. If you found this video helpful, please don't forget to hit like to support Elderly Wisdom Stories, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell to instantly receive tips that will make your 60-plus journey even richer and more meaningful. Lastly, we'd love to hear from you. Is there any habit, relationship, or mindset you wish to let go of after turning 60 to make life lighter? Share it in the comments below, and let's exchange ideas and support each other to make every day more worthwhile. Thank you for spending your time with us, and we look forward to seeing you in our next videos.